Hello and welcome back to another Let's Play Planet Zoo. My name is Chris and this is episode 10 of Perseid's Zoo. In this episode we are building a pollinator garden between the Taste of America's Cafe and the Perseid Institute. It's mostly just a whole bunch of landscaping, creating kind of a natural space and an education section for the guests for a pollinator garden here. Basically, the idea of this garden is it will provide year-long flowers and food sources for native pollinators, bees, wasps, even birds or flies as well. Just anything that's native that would be reliant on the local flora or fauna to basically survive. We're also going to drop down a little barrier fence here to kind of outline the perimeter of the zoo. Also make it look like, that's the end of the zoo, rather than just a big open field when you're at ground level. Painting our initial paths here, and we're going to have some secondary paths come out that kind of just weave through the gardens themselves. I'm going to start working on a little cobblestone pathway here by hand. I was trying to find a flat enough rock so that you wouldn't break your ankle if you decide to walk through this path. Instead I found these little cubes here, these little, what are they called, stone bricks or something. And I eventually go back to those ones because I think they are the best ones in the game for this purpose. So yeah, just making a little bit of a cobblestone pathway here. Trying to keep the stones a little bit irregular, so it looked like they were just kind of set down maybe by like volunteers or zoo staff, and not someone came in with a contractor and leveled these perfectly and placed them down perfectly. So yeah, there's our main path. Again, kind of just grabbing a few of them, moving them around, giving them that kind of a little bit of an off-balance look here, rather than just a uniform, they brought in some machine and dropped them all down kind of thing. Giving them more of a hand-laid look and feel. Now our smaller paths are going to be half the size or half the width of the main one, but they'll just kind of follow the same pattern, just kind of zigzagging through the garden. Actually didn't follow to a T the path I laid down. Instead, just kind of doing my own thing. So yeah. Sometimes what looks good when you first draw it out doesn't seem too good when you start plopping it down. I felt like the angles would be a little too sharp for the width of the stone. So instead just kind of did that little bow out and back. And same thing over here. And then rather have it have a, four-way intersection there. Kept it at a three-way and just kind of made a teardrop shape here with the main path, bowing it out real big. And then of course we have to repaint the ground here, but that's no big deal. So yeah, there's the shape of our path, and now we're going to start dropping in some trees here in just a minute. Oh no, actually we built some beehives here first. So have you ever seen beehives like on the side of the highway or on the side of the road? They kind of look like these white boxes, really kind of indescript. So just kind of dropping a few of them down here. And I've seen a couple of them. They're usually painted. I'm sure they were painted more vibrant when they were first painted, but they've kind of faded to more of a pastel color. So we've got these little beehive boxes here that we're dropping down. And not putting a whole lot of detail into them because, again, you're only going to see them in the background kind of at a glance. So saving that prop count, not really wanting to bog down the game by making a 600 prop count bee house using the tiniest of materials, because yeah, again, we're just dropping them in the back here. It's just something that you can probably catch a glimpse of, a little bit of background art, so to say. And those will be surrounded by bushes and trees and all that. So now starting to drop down some of our larger landscape items here, the trees. Found these little stumps and dead trees. I'm not just throwing them down for aesthetic reasons. Carpenter bees and solitary bees will make their nests in there. So giving them a habitat, a place to nest and to store their food as well would be a good idea in a pollinator garden like this. And of course the big trees, that would serve as habitat for birds, which birds also serve as pollinators into a minor extent. Plus you have things like hummingbirds, for example. Those actually eat from the flowers, but the other ones who eat the seeds, who eat the berries, will then go off and poop those berries out, and you get, the seed planted. So they help the environment as well. So by placing these big trees that creates habitat for them as well. And then the dead tree there, the big one that we just put that wisteria bush on, that would create habitat for woodpeckers. That would give them a place to nest and to store their food. Blue jays also use tree cavities to store their food in winter. They'll create I can't remember the technical word, but basically a giant hole where they shove every nut, acorn, bit of food that they can find, and they just kind of shove it down this tree hole. If you've ever come across one in the wild, it's a little bizarre looking. You'll have a bunch of screaming blue jays at you as well, but so yeah, now we're just dropping down a whole bunch of flowering plants here. Some of these ones that aren't flowering, I kind of envision that they would be, flowering at different times of the year. You don't want everything to flower all at once. You want year-round flowerings here in these pollinator gardens. Now these grasses, they would create seeds for the birds. These goldenrods would also be attracting the pollinators. Your bees and butterflies and all that. But yeah, over here on the right where we have that green one, I think it's a nettle. I just kind of imagine that it would be something that flowers maybe at a different time of year than these other ones that we have going. I'm pretty sure most of these plants flower at different times of years. Usually the goldenrod flowers later in the year, and I think some of these daisies are more flowering towards the springtime. So not completely, especially the azaleas. Azaleas flower in the spring. So yeah, these would be flowering at different times, but the game just has everything flowered out all at once. Yeah, just drop down some ground cover again to kind of create that illusion that things are flowering at different times. I try to make it as few tropicals as possible to make it look like these are native. I say that as I'm dropping down some kind of leaves here, which I think are a tropical plant. They kind of reminded me a little bit of Coreopsis. This is the shape of the flowers. Dropping down some ferns here, just kind of create a different a divide here between the areas. Again, just lots of flowers, lots of big bunches of flowers. Now these twin flowers, with their kind of droopy heads like that, I imagine would be attracting hummingbirds or larger pollinators. The wisteria that I placed on that tree would definitely be attracting the larger solitary bees. We have here in Kansas City the Powell Gardens, and they have a wisteria gazebo area, and this is where all the solitary bees hang out, the big large carpenter bees that like to buzz your head. So dropping down some berry bushes here, or bearberry bushes, I think it's an actual term. Again, creating food and foliage for all animals here. These berry bushes would definitely be attracting birds to this area. You would eat the berries, and then of course, go off in. I'm assuming these are all natives. Just pretend with me that these are all natives. I know they're from all different parts of the world, but assuming those are a native berry, they would then be helping, propagate a native species. Yeah, we're getting close to the end of the video here, just kind of putting the little last finishing touches here. Putting down an education board about the bee pollinators, and kind of coloring it a little bit like a bee, the orange and black there, or I guess it's just orange and yellow. So yeah, that's that. We'll play some cinematics here, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Thanks for watching.